been speaking about brilliance. So, this is the month of shining bright like a diamond. And a diamond is one of the most brilliant stones that there are. Although I have to say, yesterday I was in a jewelry store in New Hope, and one of the, browsing things. And boy, there's some incredible gemstones, gems, beautiful, brilliant. And after being immersed in the whole talk on the brilliance of a diamond, I was attracted to the sapphires and the tanzanites myself, but I saw the beauty, the beauty not just of the stone, but what it represented in each and every one of us that I'm going to go into today. We each came into this life to shine brilliantly, to shine our lights. That's what we're here for. To glow, to radiate, to be ablaze with brilliance. Brilliance of the divine shining forth as us. As us. We are the divine, shining forth as us. Now we may think that we need a little bit of polishing. Every once in a while, I know for myself, I'll speak. Perhaps some rough edges that need to be cleaned and sanded down a bit, softened, a layer of soot that we might want to clean away. But regardless of any of that, at our very core, there is a brilliance with a capital B that each and every one of us has within us. A capital B brilliance. And it's just waiting for us to acknowledge it so it can shine forth as us. So say this after me. My brilliance.
My brilliance.
With a capital B.
With a capital B.
Is waiting to shine.
It's waiting to shine.
It's waiting to shine. It's waiting to shine. It sure is. Oh wait, you don't have to. You're going to turn to someone else and say, I see your brilliance with a capital B.
I see your brilliance with a capital B.
Okay. All right, so we've acknowledged it. So often it's easier to acknowledge it in someone else than it is to acknowledge it within ourselves. So let me let you in on a little secret. The only reason you can see it in another is because it is in you already. Because if it wasn't in you, you couldn't acknowledge it. You wouldn't even know what I was talking about. But if you could see it in any other human being, or animal, or plant, or stone, as I did, the stone can't see it in me, but it is within each and every one of us, that brilliance. It allows us to recognize it. So this month we've been talking about the 4 cuts of a diamond. Well, not the 4 cuts, the 4 methods of grading a diamond, and they're called the 4 C's. We did cut. That was a good one, too. Cut away that which no longer serves, so the brilliance can shine through. Clarity, which we're going to get into today. Color, and carat. We have already explored cut, as I said, so we're going to see what clarity has to offer each and every one. It's one of my favorite qualities, actually. One of my absolute favorite qualities is clarity. Because if we don't have clarity of thought, and as the reading was so succinctly in alignment with this, that we need to know a clear question. We need the clarity of right mind. Diamonds are brought to the Earth's surfaces through deep volcanic eruptions. So this process can result in a variety of internal imperfections, inclusions or blemishes, external imperfections of the stone itself. So evaluating a diamond, the diamond's clarity involves a number of things. The size, relief, nature, position of all these imperfections, as well as they affect the overall appearance of the stone. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the stone, the diamond. The closer a diamond, how that applies to us in life. The closer a diamond comes to being perfectly clear, meaning it has no inclusions or blemishes, the higher its value, right? To rate a diamond's clarity, experts use a powerful magnifying loupe, which allows them to see the inclusions and the blemishes, as well as the beauty and the brilliance. There are 5 categories of clarity. Did you know that? I kind of figured that out with my tanzanite obsession that I'm in of late. I keep looking at them and I see there's actually 5 different tanzanites, which I thought was like a common stone. And I go to look at them because I'm looking at, I didn't want to get like a, $20,000 stone. So I'm looking, thinking, oh, look, tanzanite. So I find out yesterday that all the mines are closed. It's one of the rarest stones. And I'm like, go figure, it's my luck in life. But anyway, it's a beautiful stone. The value of a diamond, it determines it by which category it is in. And as I read them, and I'd like you to do the same, see where you fit in. What category are you in this whole 5 ways of judging a diamond? The first is flawless, internally flawless. And a diamond of this clarity is one of the rarest diamonds. It's beautiful. It's supposed to be one of the most beautiful diamonds there are. Then there is the very, very slightly including, meaning flawed. A very, very slightly flawed diamond that has insignificant blemishes on the surface, imperceptible to the inexperienced eye. And then the third is a very slightly flawed diamond that has inclusions that are perceptible. Slightly flawed has inclusions and blemishes that are noticeable. And finally, included or flawed. The least valuable diamond has inclusions that are noticeably enough for us to see with the naked eye. So using this diamond scale of clarity, this is what I want to get to. How are we rating ourselves? Where are we finding ourselves? Where are we finding our lives? Where are we going to put them in those 5? And I'll go over them in detail. In those 5 stages of clarity. Do you think of yourself as flawless, internally flawless? Or do you think of yourself as one of those categories of flawed? And I said at the beginning of our time together, and I'll say it again, each and every one of us came into this life to shine like a diamond. Each one of us. Can you believe that? If you can't believe it, all right, nobody can believe it? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'm going to know it for each and every one of us. I am going to know it. Because the thing within us that is brilliant like a diamond is our divinity. And that, my friends, we can't change. We can't alter. We can't mess it up in any way. Isn't that the good news?
Yes.
Humans can't mess it up. Whoa. Hi, Steve. Okay, we can't mess it up. How about that? So, and now I'm going to add to that saying, which is, the brilliance of the divine is flawed internally, flawless, therefore so are we. We really are. Now, we may not think that about ourselves, as that response that I just got. Does anyone think of themselves as a bright, shining light? Thank you. All right, a few of us. That's okay. There's no judgment. That's okay. We're here to learn. There are times where I'm thinking I'm a rock star. I'm a super rock star, brilliant stone. I'm a tanzanite glowing in the sky. And then there are times where I just feel like this, just a rock. You know what I mean? A lump, just a rock. So we all have our ins and outs as part of being human. So here's the deal. If we think we are flawed, then our lives will reflect that. If we think we are slightly flawed, our lives will reflect that. And if we think that we are very slightly flawed, our lives will reflect that. These are all the stages we just went through. And if we think we're very, very slightly flawed, our lives will reflect that. And if we think that we are flawless internally, then our lives will reflect that. What we think is what shows up in life, truly. Can you get that? You see that? Yeah, it's because we're so powerful. We don't even know that we are creating, whether consciously or by default. We are always creating our lives. So how clear is your thinking about your life? How clear is it? How much clarity do you have? Well, where, my friends, where would you put yourself right here and right now on that clarity scale, if you really think about it? In this moment. We're not going before, we're not going after. Because today, you are putting you there. It's only you, right? You may have had help in getting there in the past, through childhood experiences, all that wonderful stuff that we go through some unpleasant, through even abusive relationships. And so it kind of dims our light. It dims our light. But right here, right now, we're focusing on the now. None of those experiences are truly present now. You may have done some things in the past that you regret. No. But today, sitting here in this room, you and only you are the judge and the jury. There is no one else. We carry all that stuff around with us for our whole lives when you are the judge. Take ownership of your life. You are the judge and you are the jury of you. Nobody else. No one. And that's for sure. So, you and only you have that magnifying loop. Only you can really, truly feel that and know that about yourself. The truth is, you were born flawless internally. Always. Each and every human that came into this life is born flawless internally. In Science of Mind, we believe in original innocence, which I always loved. From the first time I read that in Ernest Holmes' book, not original sin. Who made that up? You know, that's an awful way to teach a child that you're a sinner. I mean, the first things they hear before they can even hear it, they are taught that they're sinners. Well, we believe in original innocence. We're innocent beings coming in to experience this thing called life, which is really interesting, but we're here, so we're experiencing it. No one's left out of that. The question of the morning, though, is how clear are your thoughts and your feelings about yourself and your life? How clear are they? Understandably, while the sum total of all of our thoughts, feelings, attitudes, beliefs, actions, and reactions may not be flawless internally, the closer we can come to that flawless part of us. There are stages. We just went through them, the 5 stages of the judging of a diamond. But within ourselves, we have all of these levels of how close can we come to recognizing that internal flawlessness. And that's when we really start to blossom. That's when, everyone's going to all these seminars to be empowered. That's what I'm talking about. That's when we're empowered, when we can claim our brilliance and shine it, and truly shine it within ourselves. No one else's business what we do, what we say, how we shine. Nobody should influence how we shine. But sometimes we let other people influence our shininess, our brilliance. But not now, no more. All right. You do know that you are surrounded by an intelligent, creative principle that operates on our every thought, our every emotion, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right, yes.
We call it the law. Principle is the law. We call it the universe. It is responding to every thought and to every emotion that is put into it, and it's giving back to us. That's what the law of attraction is. That is the law of attraction. That's it. It's a spiritual law. So that it makes sense. It makes perfect sense that the clearer in our thinking we become, the better that intelligent creative force, that substance we call the law of God, can organize energy into form, into effects, into what we experience in our lives. Do you see how we create it with our thinking and our emotions? We create our lives, and it's true. And we'll say that again. The clearer we become in our thinking, the better the universe can organize our thought into form, which is into effect. If we're thinking creatively, if we're thinking, let's stay for our gala. There's some people, a few, not many, that might not be thinking on that high level of prosperity and abundance, and the universe always provides. Well, there is such a number of us that are high up here, holding this whole thing together, that it must be, it has to be a complete manifestation, a complete success. It must be from the prosperity consciousness of the people going in. We've thrown these things and had 350 people come. I don't know 300 of those people, but they come. And they give us money. They bid on things, and we'll always have a successful, incredible. This I feel like this small. It's small now. It's gonna get big. Once we move, it'll be bigger. But this community, because of the consciousness, raises and draws to it so much prosperity and abundance. Is through the thinking, through the knowing, through the not acknowledging the conditions. That is what is, but this is what I know truly is. And believing it, that's the part for all of us, believing it. So here's how Holmes succinctly said this in his book, The Science of Mind. Clarified thought makes easy the way for the operation of the life essence through us. Clear thinking. It doesn't take a geologist, a rocket scientist, to figure out that when your thoughts are clear, all right, when your thoughts are clear about who and whose you are, your life works for the better. It's the way it works. It works for the better. The clarity of a diamond brings out its brilliance. The clarity of our thought brings out its brilliance in ourselves and in our circumstances in life. Can we get that? Yeah?
Yeah.
We have it?
Yes.
Some of us don't. Okay. You're here, so I'm going to keep talking. True thinking, clear thinking, which we call divine right thinking, which is in alignment with the infinite mind. Holmes told us there is one mind. That's God's mind. That's my mind now. Use it. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Use it.
Yeah.
This is all based on the goodness and the creativity and the love that is the truth of our nature. And that is true. True thinking, clear thinking, is based on our soul. It's based on our greater being.
Yes.
Because we're not just these human bodies. We have so much more. That infinite thing inside that allows me to get up and just go off like this. That's the divinity within. I call forth the Holy Spirit within me to deliver what needs to be delivered to those who need to hear it. And I take no ownership of it. I take no ownership. I'm just a vessel. So, having true, clear thinking requires that we pay attention to our thoughts, that we choose them, that we really choose our thinking, instead of letting them go on automatic pilot, which a lot of us, I spent most of my life prior to these teachings on automatic pilot. And it was okay, because my belief system was, to have fun, to be a joyous being, no matter with all the stuff, the crap in life that comes up. That's okay, I can move through that and be there. Now, I creatively, I co-create, I use the brilliance that is already present and use that for my thinking to move my life experiences to a higher plane. Stuart Wilde said this: without mental discipline and some kind of mental control, it's like having 40 chickens in a truck. And they're constantly flying about. I like this one. It's like my mind sometimes. And they're constantly flying all about. And the feathers are everywhere. And there's a tremendous commotion going on. Somehow, you have got to sit your chickens down in neat little rows. You do, and keep them quiet. It could be redundant. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. I could be very quiet, very calm, and then all of a sudden, it's like those chickens are jumping all over the place. Feathers are flying, and all kinds of commotion. Back. Then I gotta come back and say, what is going on? Get them in a row. They say that with ducks. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but...
Well, because they follow each other.
Well, I'm gonna say, you know what? I like that. Keep your chickens in a row, right? That means consciously know your thoughts. So, when I first got into this teaching, which was like in 92 or something, 93, seems so far away, but there was one affirmation that, the thought of this affirmation, that it would always come to me. So, and the affirmation or the thought was, each time that a negative thought attempts to enter my mind, I become aware of it, and I replace it with a positive thought. So I am a positive thinker. But now I want to tweak that affirmation just a little bit. Each time a negative thought attempts to enter my mind, I become aware of it. I stop. And I take a really deep breath. Breath is the best pause there is. Take that really deep breath. I consciously expand the energy field. And it's all around us anyway. We are energy. And then I replace it with the positive thought. That's why I love affirmations. To me, they're all positive thoughts. So, do you have a supply of clear, true affirmations handy in your spiritual arsenal? Do you? Does anyone?
Yes.
Could you just say your affirmation that you use in your life? Say it.
All is well.
I love and appreciate myself.
I love and appreciate myself. All is well. How beautiful.
Conspiring for my good.
Hmm? What was that?
The universe is conspiring for my good.
The universe is conspiring for my good. Love it. Love, love, love it. This is our practice then, you see, to keep ourselves on track, to keep our thoughts in alignment, to control the thoughts instead of allowing our thoughts to control us. It can be done. Begin practicing today by paying attention to what you are thinking. What is going on? And pay attention to your physical body, which gives you all kinds of information. Like if your stomach is off, if your heart is off. For me, it's usually either my heart chakra or my stomach chakra. It's always knowing that that's off. And it's like, all right, let me go within and try to understand that and come to a spiritual truth about it. So I'm recognizing that which is taking place in my thought and emotional process. So you can choose to have that kind of mind that actually generates your highest life. And that's what we want to do. So I'm going to conclude this with, I think, I might conclude it with a prayer, Mary. So at that point, on off. But I'm going to do Ernest Holmes' reading for us. This is from Living the Science of Mind. So he wrote this. Someone has said there is a river of life, clear as crystal, flowing through the body of humanity, uniting every part into one great being in Christ. Jesus spoke of the well of water, from which if a man drank, he should never thirst again. Throughout the Bible, we have this simile of water, typifying the flowing power of pure spirit. We say that the river of life forever flowing through us is ever ready and willing to take the form with which we give it. It appears that we have the ability, at least temporarily, to pollute this stream of life with the consciousness of hate, despair, or any other negative thought which denies its purity. But of course, we do not have the power to destroy, only to mold and remold. It is fortunate indeed, he writes, that this is true. For in spite of all our misdirections, we are still being carried forward on the bosom of this infinite stream to harbor the perfect safety. We may rest in absolute assurance that good will be the final goal of all things. We can hasten the event of this good by definitely clarifying our thought and by daily meditating on the invisible source, the wellspring of life within each and every one of us. So let us, right here for this moment, clarify our thinking, or just let go of it. Just let go of everything. Because I'm gonna go into an affirmative prayer for the clarity of thoughts for each and every one of us here. Okay.